As Democrats, we will continue to fight for the rights of the people of this great state. We will continue to fight for workers' rights and a living wage. And we will fight against any litigation that seeks to close the courthouse doors to regular people. Quality public education and job creation should be our priority. Finally, we will work to restore public trust through a series of ethics bills to address this issue. And I'm going to ask Representative Kip Kidrick to come up. He actually has put together a proposal for some ethics reform, so he can talk about that.
Thank you. Well, I think I made it clear I actually didn't put it together. The governor-elect, Eric Greitens, put this together. These were his campaign promises. He made 7 of them throughout his election. And as a minority whip for the Democratic Party, I took his campaign promises. We filed them as a Democratic platform, and we're going to deliver the votes to make sure that we can get comprehensive and aggressive anti-corruption reform done this year. There is a clear mandate from the people of Missouri that we end business as usual. And for someone who spoke as often and as eloquently as he did about rooting out corruption, it's time to act. It is. This is it. We have a great opportunity in front of us. I look forward to working with House leadership. We all do, to make sure that we can make sure that the governor-elect's campaign promises come into legislation and that they're passed and on his desk by no later than mid to late January. This is important to the people of Missouri, and it's important to us in this body. And you know, I'm cautiously optimistic that Republican leadership in the House is going to work with us to see that this platform of bills gets across the finish line. But I do challenge House leadership and all House members to resist the urge to act on any Senate bill until the Senate acts on aggressive anti-corruption bills. I think that's important. I think that's where our roadblock is going to be, is in the Senate. So we need to make sure that that we work with the House, that the governor-elect puts pressure on members of the own party, and we'll make sure that we do everything we can to get support on the Democratic side and work with Republicans. But there's no reason why this can't become law this year. All 7 of his promises.
So with that, we'll take any questions.
Do you see any issues? Certainly, ethics is one that Representative Kendrick brought up. Do you see any other issues where you might be able to work in a bipartisan manner with the majority caucus?
Well, I think we still have a lot to do as it relates to education. While we have seen some improvements in all of our school districts, we no longer have any unaccredited districts. We still have a long way to go, and I would still like to see us fund early childhood education.
You had mentioned earlier on the floor that not enough has been done to address the underlying concerns that led up to Ferguson. What kind of policies do you think need to be tackled this session?
Well, actually, there have been a number of proposals that have been put forth that have not even gotten hearings. We've had several legislators have filed body cameras. We've filed special prosecutor legislation. We've asked for special training. There are a number of things that have been put forth that never saw the light of day.
Speaker Richardson earlier, when I asked him about this, said that the Republican caucus is going to be working toward increasing access to education and job opportunities as kind of their version of the response to that. What do you think? Do you think that's an adequate way of addressing that?
I have some concerns when he says better access, that we should not be spending public dollars for private education, and if that is their solution to access, then I have a problem with that. I also have some concerns for our rural communities when we start talking about spending those dollars on private and parochial schools, where the schools are the center of those communities. I think that's going to be a problem and detrimental to those communities.
What are some of the things that the Democratic caucus would like to see on a potential ride-sharing bill that comes through? Anything that the Democrats can attach to make it, I guess, more palatable to talk?
I think we've got to see it and look at it. I can't give you anything at this point. And I think all of us, I know my city has had some issues. So I think we need to look at that. I can't give you anything at this immediate moment. touch petty.
What did you think of this using that platform today to talk about voter ID?
I personally like the fact that he used that platform. What he said is correct. We have not seen any instance of voter impersonation fraud in our state. That was a piece of legislation looking for a problem that simply didn't exist, and it will indeed impact people's ability to vote, and that's not something we should be doing. I have in fact called for a special committee to ask the speaker so that we can look into the regulations that surrounds that bill so that we make sure that we put as little challenge to people as possible.
Speaker Richardson said that Republicans want to put the right to work just through the legislative process and not send it to the ballot. Just how realistic do you think it is to try and, as House Democrats trying to work to get that on the ballot when there's so much support from both the governor, House, and the Senate, the Republican leaders?
Getting a referendum clause on that legislation is probably going to be quite a challenge, but we still have the petition process that can be done.
And bouncing off of that, you brought up the initiative petition process. So hypothetically, if the right to work bill were to pass and go to, at that point, Governor Greitens' desk without a referendum clause, would this potentially be an initiative to block right to work then?
I think right to work needs to go to the vote of the people. This is a huge change for the state of Missouri. I have concerns that it is going to bring wages down, and we need to let the people make that decision.
Leader Beatty, you mentioned in your intro Singfield and Humphreys. Do you think Republicans are taking their cue on right to work from Humphreys and Rex Singfield? And B, when I asked Speaker Richardson about what you said about insisting that they have the final say, he said Democrats in the past had resisted putting it on the ballot. Any thoughts on what he just said?
Do I think it is the Humphrey-Singfield agenda? Absolutely, I do. As far as putting it on the ballot, I think at this point, this is where we are, and let's see what how the people feel about it. Any more questions? All right. Thank you.